So a good day to you wherever you are in internet world. And today I'm with the lovely Debbie Lewis, who has been writing again as she's one of our collaborative columnists in the Salonpreneur Magazine. And Debbie's article, oh, hang on, wrong page. Shock. We were just talking. Debbie's article in this quarter's edition is all about business diversification and shiny object or strategic pivot. So welcome, Debbie.
Hi.
And yeah, and you can just find that on page 79 of the magazine.
Thank you.
But yeah, welcome, Debbie, and thank you for joining me again. And I think shiny object syndrome and pivoting, and every time I hear the word pivot, all I think of is Ross in Friends. Pivot, pivot, pivot. It's just, I can't help it. But yeah, it's the shiny object syndrome. I'm trying to decide whether or not you've got the shinies or whether it's actually something viable is a big thing for most of us. Yeah. So yeah, tell us a little bit about kind of what inspired the article. And I know you've got a whole history of shiny object syndrome, as have I.
Absolutely.
We can just chat about how many shinies we've gone for.
Absolutely. And I want to share with you a top tip about how to manage your shinies as well. That has been really helping me of late. So I definitely recognize that when I had a chain of salons, I would be really driven by the challenges I faced and my ability to solve that challenge if I just started another business. So initially that's how I ended up with a recruitment agency. I really struggled to get great staff. So I was like, do you know what? I'm going to start my own hair and beauty talent agency. And I did that, and it really solved my problem, but probably cost me more money than it saved me in recruitment agency fees. So that's kind of one example. And then another one really for me was around social media, marketing, education. I really threw myself into that around 15 years ago. And whilst it was absolutely brilliant for raising my profile and getting me speaking gigs, didn't really bring in enough money to justify the number of hours I was spending on it. And actually what it caused me to do was take my eye off the ball with my core income. And so salon income started to kind of dip. I was not bringing in enough revenue from the other businesses, and I was just diluting myself. And now fast forward, I work with hundreds, if not thousands, of business owners through the full-time work that I do supporting businesses. And I'm noticing a trend that when business is tough over here, we get really creative about, or maybe I'll do this. And not every idea should become a business.
No, indeed. And I think as well, because I know like the first time I met you properly, I think I've probably seen you floating through my world. And then I can remember the first conversation we ever had was in COVID on Clubhouse.
Yeah.
And I became very aware of who you are and what you do. And I know, I mean, in that time, I think that was like the ultimate in pivot, wasn't it? I mean, everybody was pivoting. And I think to a degree, it's kind of led even more so, because I know I had shiny object before then, definitely, and was forever looking for a pivot. But I think it just kind of opened the door up to people recognizing that they could add additional lines of income and have another super shiny business over there that was going to, you know, help their retirement or was going to, you know, make them millionaires or whatever. And I think there's an element of like, we've all got kind of caught up in this, like there's always something more you can do.
Yeah, 6 sexy streams of sustainable income. We've all been sold the snake oil dream. Absolutely.
Yeah. And it's such a shame, because I think there are points, aren't there? And I know like in your article, you cover it. There are points when actually it's a really, really good thing to do a pivot and to bring something new into your world. So, and I know that you've got like this, we'll rapidly go through, because these are very concise and comprehensive but short, these videos. So but if we just sort of have a look at those things like that D.I.V.A check you've got, and just have a look at some of those things that, you know I sat with somebody at the show who just came up to me and was like, can I just pick your brain for 5 minutes? And we sat there for in the end about 45 minutes just going, no, this may not be the thing. So what is it? And I was actually probably inadvertently using your D.I.V.A system with her. So what is that about?
The D.I.V.A check is basically a self-check that is this idea right for now? Is it right for you? Is it right for your business? Is it right for now? Or And this is the thing at the top of the conversation. I said I'm going to teach and share with you my self-check is, or does it need to go on the shelf? Because
Yeah.
actually some ideas are brilliant ideas, but they shouldn't be done right now. I have got a mental shelf full of great ideas that are just not for now.
Yeah.
And that is based on, you know, demand, or whether you have the availability, the return on investment. There's loads of bits in there. Read the article. I'm not going to give you too much away, because you've got to subscribe and you've got to get the mag to get all the gold nuggets. But essentially, it's just because you can doesn't mean you should. And how will this affect whatever else is in play? And are you the right person to do it?
Yeah, because I do think that, you know, I mean, I've had moments. One of my biggest things that I did as an alternative to my salon world was my education platform, D.I.V.A. And I ran with that 6 years of investment of time, money, and it was a lot. And then you get to a point where it's out there, and actually, and there was a lot of reasons why it didn't work, but it was something that was needed. It was something that should have worked, but it didn't matter at the end of the day what I did, how much I put it out there. We couldn't make it work, and it didn't connect. And it cost me thousands and thousands of pounds and hundreds, thousands of hours.
Yeah.
And it was something, it was a passion project. Yeah. And at the end of the day, I had to make a really, really hard decision to go, actually, no, this isn't it. And it took a long time to get to the point where I realized that I needed to step away from it.
Yeah, there's a brilliant methodology called Business Model Canvas that is a 7-segment model where you can get everything out of your head onto one sheet of paper that shows your business in 3 lenses: viability, feasibility, and desirability. And for most of us, the desirability bit is there. We know that people should love this. There's a demand for it, and we know it should exist. The viability piece is around whether we can bring it to life. So do we have the skills? Do we have to outsource it? Do we have to learn? But the piece where most businesses fall down is that viability. So feasibly, we can do it. Desirably, people want it. But viably, can we make it pay and wash its face and be worth the hours of investment?
Yeah.
And so I love that tool, because it gives you a real bird's eye view of, should we even consider this? But then you're still up to the, you know, the lap of the gods, if you believe in them.
Yeah, this is it. And I think sometimes is that the viability, until you've built it,
you don't know.
You don't know if people, you know, you can bring a horse to water, but can you make it drink? You know, and there's so many analogies of how we can, like, metaphors for that. But I think that thing of like putting it on a shelf, and I know now I do. I always have a whiteboard on the go. I've stopped having notepads because I just have notepads everywhere. So I've got a whiteboard, and at the bottom of my whiteboard is like my shelf of, like, I need to think about this later. I've got about two things on there at the moment that someone has said to me, you really need to do this. And I think this would really help you. And it's like, I literally haven't got the brain capacity.
Good for you.
And I can't. So I've got notes on there of, like, so-and-so said, do this, speak to someone else about doing this, and come back to it at some point in the future.
Yeah.
Because it's going to help. It will help the boat row faster, effectively. But it's going to slow the boat down while I go and investigate and go down the rabbit hole.
And you can't do you can do anything, but you can't do everything.
Yeah.
And it's about, where do you put your focus, and how do you pick between them? And the article starts to talk about, what are the no-brainer, so simple and easy to slot into your existing commitments, existing world, existing market. So they're the kind of low-hanging fruit, if you don't hate that phrase, to be able to chase after. We
probably need to hear it a whole lot more, because I think it was something that, you know, 5 years ago, and probably when we were in the COVID repivoting and doing everything new because we had no work, there was a talk of a lot of low-hanging fruit. And I think that kind of has disappeared because we probably did overuse that phrase. But maybe it's something we do need to reconsider again now, is that where, you know, even for example, I still provide therapy services, and a good friend of mine provides products to be able to facilitate that. And for years I've watched her do it. I've supported her. I've spoken about her products and stuff. And this year I've seen her start putting her stuff out, and I was like, you know, I'm actually going to grab that, because I've got at the moment, I've got quite a few clients, and I think some of them would actually really like that service. And it's cost me a £30 investment. I've already had someone book, and it's not in the scheme of like, should I go and buy a £5,000 machine, or shall I start a new software system?
Yeah, low commitment.
It's a low commitment. It's cost me 30 quid. I've already got a £50 investment back. And I've only just started doing the marketing for it. So I know that investment's going to come back. And all that is just from buying 500 mils of oil,
Yeah.
And it can be that simple, can't it? It's just like,
absolutely. And it should be that simple.
Yeah.
Pivoting is, I think, simplified down into what are your current customers asking you for? Because if you already know they want it and you can provide it, that to me is all the green lights to go out and get it, so you can take that money.
Yeah. And it hasn't cost me £5,000 on a new machine, because I've been down that road previously as well. And I think as well is that, you've got to work out, haven't you? One of the conversation I had with someone recently was looking at, their cost per service, and, knowing whether or not that machine that they're looking at buying, knowing whether or not that has financial viability, because they don't currently offer any services like it. And the person I was talking to, her cost per service were not there on her fingertips. She couldn't instantly give me that answer. And
a salon owner who didn't really know their numbers.
I know, the shock horror. But I said to her, the fact that you don't know that means you need to go and address that before you even look at that machine. Because I can understand, and I really understand why you can see that's going to solve all your problems. But mostly it's not going to solve all your problems, because it's just going to give you another 30 to think about before you get to the starting of doing that machine, what that machine can provide for your clients.
And some of the most successful business owners I know, I notice one thing about the group of them that I don't see in as many salon owners, and I include myself in that. There's no judgment. I am that person. They are driven by data and facts, not feelings. I would be very much, this is anecdotally, this is what I'm hearing, this is what I'm seeing. But actually, we're being subliminally sold to all the time. So we don't know if we've suddenly got this idea that marketing is feeding and fueling, but actually when you launch it, it flops because nobody wants it. If we are hearing from the mouths of our clients, I want this, that's your fact, that's your data. I wish we did a bit more with surveying and using data analytics to make decisions.
I know, it's funny you should say that, actually. I'm just about to launch a survey. I was like, completely different, but it is. But I know that I need that data, and I need to go and test it. And it's not. There is no shiny object to this. This is it's purely like a data mining like situation, and because I need some data in, but it's a really interesting thing. It's like, I used to, when I did have my salon, I would go to my clients. If I did think about it, I would go out and say, okay, so you've all sat in front of me having your nails done, telling me how much you wish you had this, that, the other in my business. So now I'm looking at that. Are you going to do this? And when you get that deafening wall of silence, you know that they've just been having a conversation while they're having their nails done.
Absolutely. I always say, sign before you sell. Sell before you sign. Let's get it the right way around. You need to sell this as if it's landing. Dropbox, the data sharing software where I could put an album of photos in and I could share it with you. Dropbox is a sharing tool.
Dropbox,
Dropbox. Yeah. So Dropbox did this famously. They created the product just by using graphic design to pretend it existed, and they got enough interest that they then built it and became enormous. We need to have that lean, it's called lean methodology. We need to adopt that more in salons. Open the booking system for a month's time, 3 months time, however long it's going to take you. Get the bookings, and if you get the interest, go on the course, buy the machine. If you don't, you don't go ahead.
Yeah. And then I think as well, though, is that sometimes, like, when you do that, there could be like feelings of rejection, couldn't there? And because, but I think that, it's better to have feelings of rejection on a possible, rather than I've actually spent. I mean, and let's face it, I've got a friend of mine, I dread to think how many thousands and thousands of pounds worth of kit she's got in her salon. Every time I speak to her, she spent £40,000 on something else. And but she is a very successful salon, and she does utilize all of her equipment, and she's good with it, and she does make her money back on them. But every time, I mean, she makes my heart just die every time I speak to her, and she says, oh yeah, and I've just bought a new laser and it was only like £70,000, and I'm no, how
how many treatments have you got to do to get that back? Can you even fit that many people in to recoup that money?
Know.
Yeah,
I know. It's scary. I think, especially when you start getting into some of that aesthetic stuff and the advanced treatments, it is scary levels of money. You know, if you're looking at changing your gel brand, I mean, that can still cost hundreds and possibly into the thousands of pounds. But generally, you know, it was so much easier, wasn't it, when you just used to go from OPI to Orly or something, you know, and it was just nail polish. And it was just nail polish, and it was only going to cost you £100 to change your range. But nowadays, everything has a cost, doesn't it? And I think we do have to be so mindful, don't we, that we can feel so invested just because we think something feels right to us, especially in our industry. We are, like you say, we're so feelings led. And I think we do need to kind of start getting into a little bit more of planning. I mean, really, we need spreadsheets. That's what we need, isn't it?
That and strategy. Strategy is just a really fancy word for a plan. The number of business owners generally, not exclusive to salon owners, that I speak to, who are really reactive. Something comes up as an opportunity and they jump on it. When actually, if they sat down once a year and they said, this year, I'm going to cut all of this noise out. This is the thing I'm going to focus on for 12 months. Even if we only do 6 months, this period of time, I'm going to focus on this. Everything else I'm putting on the shiny shelf.
Yeah.
Because
we've got a new name for it. The shiny shelf.
And if we could start being more strategic, less reactive, driven by data, less by feelings, we would all make more money. I also think there's a real piece around psychology. Sometimes we're our own worst enemies in terms of fear of failure, fear of success, fear of judgment, and we make decisions without talking to people because we worry about what they might think, when actually even saying it out loud, you will get an instant self-check of, is this a silly idea, or is this a great idea? So start to feel more comfortable about socializing your ideas before you act on them.
Yeah, definitely. And I think as well, it's like, you know, going to networking and stuff like that and speaking to people outside of our industry, because we are a very big echo chamber where we all think the same, we all feel the same, and we'll all give the same answers back going, oh yeah, I did that. That was great. Or pretending it was great when actually it wasn't. But I do think that there's so much that we just need to kind of address in the fact that we do seem to spend our lives just like going after something new. And I think that we have to kind of rein that in just a little bit, don't we? And it is that whole strategizing for a year. I've got in my business planner that you can buy on Amazon, the Salon Business Planner. But in there, I've got a piece in there about purchases of regret. And each month, just sort of, you know, going through, what have I bought this month that I wish I hadn't bought? Because I know I've still got, I mean, I did my first nail qualification in 2002. I have still got bad decision purchases in my nail art kit that I've never used.
You've just reminded me of a nail art laser printer I purchased.
Oh, did you?
Oh God, I spent about £3,000 on this. What is effectively a HP inkjet printer for nails at one of the pro shops.
I remember seeing them.
God, it never worked. It was horrendous. But I got really sucked in. So yes, I can resonate. The other thing that I think we skipped over, but I would really like to underline, is I think our relationship with money generally needs to change.
Yeah, definitely.
We keep telling ourselves the lie of I'm reinvesting into my business. I don't always think we do. I think that we are often reactively purchasing to keep up with the Joneses, or because, you know, we want to be on trend. But is it right for your business? Is it in line with the why? And wouldn't you rather have 70 grand in your bank account in case we go into tough times again, or to take a big opportunity when it presents itself?
And I think, you know, and I know, especially having been around the nail world so much, is that, you know, like we will, every time a new, and I think probably nails, makeup, definitely are the worst hit for this. And that really does come down to the shiny stuff, because it's like, oh, there's a new range of glitter quarterly. that's going to cost you £60 a quarter to get that, no, maybe even more. It's going to cost you, they're going to release like another 6 colors every quarter. Gel polish companies do it, makeup companies do it. Yeah, because we haven't got that color from 3 seasons ago, have we really? So let's just go and buy another deep red that's got a little bit more blue in it. Oh no, that one's got a bit more purple in it, you know. And we do this, and actually we don't need it.
There's a better way.
We don't need 30 types of red. You know, we have to kind of remember that we give our clients overwhelm when we get our gel samples out and there's 300 to choose from. It's quite confusing, and
particularly when you reflect that your regular clients usually have the same 2 or 3 colors every time. There are clients who will come in and say, I want something different every time, but I can count them on one hand.
Yeah, it's not the same, is it? It really isn't the same. But I just think we just need to, we need to kind of just refocus, don't we, and just recenter onto making sure that we're making good decisions that are going to give a long-lasting benefit to us.
Yeah. And whether that is an unused space in your building, whether that is, you know, an offer that will fill up a quiet day that you're seeing recurring in the month, be led by patterns, investigate with your client base. One of the other big market floods that I've seen since COVID is salon owners pivoting into coaching and business consultancy and teaching. I have no issue with it. However, I'm seeing a lot of mentors, advertisers, coaches who have no qualifications in coaching, and what they're giving is not coaching, it's mentoring. I'm seeing lots of people in education selling courses that are uninsurable. Let's make sure when we're pivoting, we're doing all of the research around what that is and how do we become credible and insurable, so that if we become successful, it doesn't bite us on the bum.
Yes. And also, I just want to think, because it keeps going in my head and I keep losing it again, but there was a bit we were saying about the data. And I think one of the things that we get caught up in is other people's data that they're using to market.
Yes.
And I can remember when I first came into the industry, and there was, I won't name the brand, but there was many of them doing this, a spray tan brand. And I was new in the industry. Spray tan was new. I was like, oh my goodness me, I could add this to, that was my first experience of shiny object syndrome. And they used figures of, you can do 10 spray tans a day at X amount of money. And if you do that 5 days a week, you're going to earn thousands.
This time next year, Rogers, we're going to be millionaires.
Yeah, this is it. And I think that, you know, we fall fat because it's a marketing tactic, you know, and we all do these marketing tactics to bring people into our businesses, you know, no matter what business you are. But we have to realize that, not that they're misleading you, they're giving you the factual information, but it's a very, very optimistic picture that they're painting.
It's a very specific lens, because whenever they claim something, you probably could. If you had that many clients, if you were open that many hours, if you only ever wanted to do that treatment again for the rest of your life. And also, if the machine could tolerate that. I don't know about you, but I wouldn't be able to see in my salon if I did a full day of spray tan. That spray tan pen would have been plugged 48 times.
Nasal filters, and oh my goodness me, But the thing is that, you know, when there's something new out there and they're giving you all that information, I think that's when it's really hard to say no, because it just seems like a no-brainer. But we do have to go back and like go through, like, you know, Debbie's D.I.V.A check of just making sure that you have got all that demand, that there's all the information is there, and that you've got your viability, and I forgot what the A's for, but that you've gone through those checks. Read the magazine, you'll find what the A's for. But just make sure that you've got all those checks in place, because the shiny can lead you down just because it might highlight a new pathway for you doesn't mean it's the right one.
No. And also, if you do try it, fail fast, fail cheap. Don't be pig-headed around, I have invested in this, particularly when it comes to time, and I need to get the return, so I've got to keep going. Sometimes it is better to walk away, resell, than it is to keep draining yourself as well as, you know, everything else, to keep trying to flog a dead horse.
Yeah, absolutely. Well, let's leave it there. Thank you so much for coming on, and can't wait to see what you write about in the winter January edition. And I know, because everyone's starting to get their pieces together for that. So
absolutely, it's going to be high tech.
Oh, I'm really looking forward to this one. We've got some interesting things coming up in the January edition. So yeah, that'd be good. Thank you very much, Debbie.
Thank
you.
And
speak to you next time.
See you next time. Thanks, Sue.